Shalom, 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 y'all.
Shalom.
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 Oh, yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Hope you're in good spirits this morning. About to get to it. Give me a second here. Let me get some prep done. Please let me know if y'all can see that.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, so good morning to all you and shalom again. So, just started with some comments. Whenever we seek understanding, we, us, of the house of Jehovah, we trust only in the words of righteous wisdom, right? Which he has provided for his people, meaning Jehovah, right? And of course, I don't speak my own words. Any idea I have, I get it straight from scripture. So let's get to it, okay? We're gonna start at Songs of Solomon. Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 4. Chapter 2 and verse 4. He brought me to his learning house, his banqueting house, and his banner, his sign over me was a promise. Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 7, verse 7. Come on now. Brought me to that banqueting house, for which reason I prayed, I confessed, and understanding was given me. I called together upon Yahweh, our guide, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. Let's stay in wisdom and go to chapter 6, verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fades away. Yeah, she is easily seen, perceived of them that promise her, and found of such as seek her. God seek that wisdom every day, diligently, right? and she'll come to you. Proverbs. Chapter 24 and verse 3. Through wisdom is an house, build it. And by understanding, it is established. So this family, this house of Jehovah is a house built of wisdom and is established through such. Go back to wisdom of Solomon. What are you doing here? And we're going to go in chapter 7 and verse 28. The reason is Yahweh promised none but him that dwells with wisdom. It's important. Because now we could even begin to understand how Yahweh communicates with us, right? And why he has chosen us to give knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. There's a method to it. Let's go to Isaiah. There's a reason. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Says, whom shall he teach knowledge And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, that foundation, right? That the first ways of learning, we're going to start learning from the fleshly ways first. And then we're going to get the foundation of his wisdom, right? And the drawing from the breast, the doctrines of other of the world. And then giving the nourishment, starting that nourishment of that wisdom that he has for us. Okay? So it's twofold. Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 30. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. And he says, thus shall they know that I, the spirit of their guide, am with them, and that they, even the house of the followers of Jehovah, the servants of Jehovah, are my people. They're the creator Jehovah. Isaiah, stay here. We're going to 56, y'all. Stay in the book. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in Ezekiel. Get me out of here. Let's go to Isaiah 56 in chapter 5. Isaiah 56 and 5. Giving us that wisdom. He said, even them, unto them will I give in my house, and within my walls a place and a way better than of sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting way that shall not be cut off. Giving it to us. What reason is that? Let's go to Leviticus 25 and 55. 25, Leviticus 25 and 55. And the reason he's going to give it to us is the reason is unto me, Jehovah speaking, unto me, the children of Israel, the servants of Jehovah are servants. See, they are my servants, servants of Jehovah, whom I brought forth out of the land of the house of bondage. I am the Spirit of God, your guide. 2 Samuel, we go to 2 Samuel, chapter 7, and verse 29. 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 29. For that reason, now let it please thee to bless the house of thy servant, that it may continue forever in your presence. The reason is you, O Lord, O Creator Jehovah, has spoken it, said it. And with your blessing, let the house of your servant be blessed forever. So, since God has chosen Israel for his people to give his word of truth, he expects loyalty, integrity, and fidelity from his servants, us, right? And love, which spiritually is promise. So when we say we love God, we're not saying it in an affectionate manner. We're not saying it in the way we love flesh. We're saying it in a way which spiritually means we promise him and we hold to his word and we prove it by obedience, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 28, verse 20 and 21. 20 and 21. And Jacob, the supplanter, the one that supplants that flesh, we think about it. We vowed a vow saying, providing Yahweh will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go and will give me doctrine to learn, covering to put on so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall the Spirit of God be my guide right? Exodus chapter 34, and verse 27. And the Spirit of God said unto the word of truth, write down these words. The reason is after the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with thee and with the servants of Jehovah. He made a covenant. He made a covenant. What's a covenant? What's a covenant? Let's get to it. He made a covenant with his people. He made an agreement, a promise. He made a contract, a bond. That's pretty straightforward for us for now. Makes sense, right? He made that agreement with his people and promised, right? Let's go to stay in Exodus. Let's go to 35 and verse 1. That agreement. And the word of truth gathered all the congregation, all the people of the children of the servants of Jehovah together and said unto them, these are the words, because he told them to write these words for the contract, which the Spirit of God had commanded that you should do them, right? Let's go to Sirach. Sirach, let's see if we're going in Sirach. We're going Sirach 24. Get to it. Sirach 24. Ecclesiasticus in some books, Sirachs in others. I said 24, right? And verse 8. Going. So the creator of all things gave me a commandment. And he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob and thy inheritance in Israel. Exodus, back to Exodus. Chapter 24. Verse 3. It's all about that covenant. And the word of truth came and told the people all the words of the Spirit of God and all the doctrines and teachings. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Spirit of God has said will we do. Contract, right? So that loyalty, that fidelity, that integrity, all these attributes are specifically exemplified in the sanctity of marriage, right? Especially between those of a like mind, which is in Christ. Let's go to Amos. Get out of here real quick. Let's go to Amos. Chapter 3 and verse 3. Question. Can two walk together? Can they live together, including they be agreed? Good question, right? 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 3. Chapter 1, verse 3. According, comparing his divine power has given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that hath called us together to glory, that eternal power and virtue, right? According to that divine power. Can we all agree? Genesis. Can we exist together? Chapter 2. Chapter 2 does this all the time. And 24. 24. For that reason shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and it shall be one flesh. Titus. Titus. Chapter 2 and verse 10. Not purloining, however, showing all good fidelity, that they may adorn, put on the doctrine of God, of Yahweh, our Savior in all things. Romans. Chapter 8 and 28. He's just giving y'all the basics. He's just talking. Hope y'all listening. Chapter 8 and 28. And we know that all things work together. The reason is good to them that promise Yahweh, to them who are called together according to his purpose. Right? Putting us together for that example, right? Matthew. When we join together, we join in the way we join with each other is how we join in him. Everything is an example we have to learn from. Matthew 19, verse 6. And there's a reason we got to learn that lesson. And that reason is because that reason is they are no more twain, two. However, one flesh. What for that reason God has joined together, let no male or female put asunder. Let no male or female put asunder. So those two come to one. Husband and wife, male and female, servant, master, join, covenant. Sounds lovely, right? Yeah, it does. But if you know Israel, those who struggle with Jehovah, you don't believe me? Hold up. Let me look up Israel. Because, not Israel, Israel. What's wrong with you, Aunt? Israel. He who struggles with Jehovah while we in a situation, right? Then you know we're going to drop the ball. If you know us. How? I'll show you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get to it. Galatians. Because we play too much. Chapter 5, verse 19. Adultery, y'all. Adultery. Adultery. What is that? Adultery. Terry. See, look, I'm bugging over here. Can't even spell no more. Terry. Uh-oh. Breach of marriage. Already, right off the top. Unfaithfulness. Spiritual corruption. Idolatry. Covenant breaker. Oh boy. Betraying. What was we doing? Infidelity, spiritual fornication. Mm, with everything. False worship. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Idolatry. Look at us. Dishonesty. Look what we did. Look what we did. Unfortunately, we as a collective body, as a wife, have turned from the sanctity of our marriage to Jehovah in favor of lies and the idolatry of worldly desires and influences. We have. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 11, bankrupt, verse 4. We did. Look, we did. We supposed to trust in him. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. And the followers of the servants or the strugglers also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to learn? Right off the bat, as an ungrateful spouse, we would rather lead the security of a solid marriage to truth and understanding, which leads to everlasting life, and return to the ways we were supposedly content with. Blissful ignorance, which will only lead to death and eternal obscurity, right? That's what we do. We stay in Numbers to go to chapter 14, verse 2. Again, again, all the children of Israel murmured against the word of truth, against that, the priest, against the priest. And the whole congregation said unto them, I wish to God that we had died in a land of bondage, or wish to God we had died in this wilderness. Huh? Craziness. Us, strugglers. Exodus. What we doing to our husband? Exodus 16, verses, let's see, 3. And we're going to go from A to D, up to the semicolon. Let me get to it again, my bad. A to D through the semicolon. It says, and the children of Israel said unto them, I wish to God we had died by the power of the Spirit of God in that land of bondage, when we sat by the flesh pots. And when we did learn doctrine to the full, we want to go back. We want to go back. Sound like something familiar. Let's go to Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 11. See how familiar it sounds? We compared to something. Comparing a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly. Exactly what we want. Yum, yum, yum. Nom, nom. Go to Numbers, chapter 15, verse 31. You think he ain't gonna have something to say about it? You see them red letters, right? Because he had despised the word of the Spirit of God and has broken his commandment, broken that trust, broken that breach in marriage, that soul shall utterly be cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. Many of us choose to flee the institution of marriage due to the lack of trust in the union. We all have we all have a perceived role of responsibility, which if it is compromised in any way, that may lead to a breach of trust, right? The faith breaks down because they're not moving in the way that you pictured them in your mind, right? And for that reason, therefore, it provides an excuse for an adultery. In your mind. In your mind. Because those people ain't moving the way you want them to, the way you expect them to. Let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 10, verse 3. The Spirit of God will not allow the soul of the righteous to famish, to hunger, to starve, but he cast away the substance of the wicked. The substance, that substance of the wicked. Go to Hebrews. It's the substance we're speaking about. Chapter 11, verse 1. It's the substance. Oh, okay. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, expected, the evidence of things not seen. Not seen. But what we do, we're looking for something. We try to see something. Jeremiah. So we're doing the opposite of faith, right? Because we want something. And if we don't see it, then we got an issue with that next person. Jeremiah chapter 17, verses 5 through 6 AB. Nothing you do is going to be right. If I don't got faith in you, nothing you do going to be right, right? Thus says the Spirit of God, cursed be the male or female that trusts in a man and makes flesh his strength, and whose heart desire departs from the Spirit of God. The reason is he should be like a heath in the desert and shall not see when good comes. So no matter what happens, no matter how that person comes to you, you're not going to see it any good. You're already in your eyes, they already corrupting your head. So no matter what they do, since you're not seeing them the way that you would like to see them, because something happened, like something diminishes that person in your eyes. So you're not seeing anything anymore, no matter what. Craziness. Stay in Jeremiah. Let's go to 18 in verse 12. What happens? And they said, there is no hope. However, we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart. So we do that to God and we do that to each other when there's no hope. So you start trying to do your own thing. Weird. Lack of communication is a major factor in the breakdown of wedlock. Yep, lack of communication. This leads to false assumptions, insecurities, and disrespectful conversation, which in essence is spiritual corruption, adultery. Job. Go to Job. Chapter 42. 42. Verse 3, A and B. A couple of pieces out of there. 3, A and B. Who is he that hires counsel without knowledge? For that reason, I uttered that I understood not. You speaking without knowing what you talking about. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 28. 28. We're going to hit up 11 through 12, A and B. Okay? Let's get to it. 11 through 12, A and B. It says, a hasty contention kindles a desire, and a hasty fighting sheds life. Providing thou blow the spark, it shall burn. We getting to that content. We getting to that funky communication. Starting it. Let's go to wisdom. It's starting, y'all. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. We're going to hit up verse 6. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 6. Only there appeared unto them a fire, a desire kindled of itself, very dreadful, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So you get an imagination in your head. That lack of communication, it makes you start thinking things that ain't in there. How about that? Proverbs. Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 18. Verse 18. He that hides hatred with lying lips, and he that utters a slander is a fool. That's what we do in our marriages, and that's what we do to God. We creep it towards adultery. We in there. You know why? Because that's spiritual corruption. Go back to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 28, verse 15. A backbiting tongue has cast out virtuous spirits and deprived them of their works. That backbiting tongue is casts out those virtuous spirits. That righteousness is gone when we start to get into talking foolish in our marriages, in our relationship. Proverbs 15, 4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein in that tongue is a breach in the spirit, whether it be speaking in the speech of flesh or speaking with our actions in spirit towards our husband. If it's wholesome, it's a tree of life. But if you pervert it anyway, that's a breach. So if we combine those previously stated factors into the equation, let's be honest, sexual attraction may take a big hit, and now one or even both parties are looking outside of the marriage for affection. And don't be fooled, because this act of adultery is certainly contained or recorded in the books. Books. Notice the S. Notice the S. We ain't sneaky. We ain't sneaky. You ain't getting what you want. Everything gets turned around. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. Because, God, that spirit, he saw that the wickedness of male and female was great in the people, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart, his desires, was only evil continually. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 23, verses 18 and 19. 18 and 19. Get out of here. 18 and 19. A male and female that breaks wedlock, saying, Nest in my heart, in this heart. Who sees me? I encompassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody sees me. What need I to desire? What need I to fear? What need I to dread? The Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only fears the eyes of men and knows not that the understanding of the Spirit of God are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, remembering all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. We ain't gonna get away with it because we doing it to him first. Matthew chapter 5, verses 31 and 32. It is said, he's telling us, it's been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. However, I say, the Spirit of God say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife only for the cause of fornication, or putting them preserving that cause for fornication, they cause her to commit adultery. And whosoever should marry her, that is divorced, commits adultery. So you think you getting away with something? You think you just gonna run outside the marriage just because it pleases you, or because you think them people ain't doing you right, or whatever reason, and it gives you the right to step out of your marriage, or y'all separate, and you think that's good? Nope. You're still committing adultery, right? Because he said, let no man put asunder, let no man separate. So, and he put us together through his union, because we're the example. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 7. He's still speaking. They shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, or a spirit put away from her husband. For he is separated unto his guide, unto his creator. Okay? Sirach, back to it. Ecclesiasticus, verse 11. I mean, chapter 11, I'm sorry, and verse 33. Take heed, beware of a mischievous male or female, for they work wickedness, or else they bring upon you a perpetual blot. Remember, being put in those, you blotted out of one book and be found in the other books. And all our pride, lies, deceit, dishonesty, corruption, and perversion of the truth, we have stepped out on Jehovah, our husband. We have. Let's go to Hosea. Hosea. Chapter 9. We're going to hit a couple of spots in this chapter. Verse 1. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy, as other people. The reason is you have gone a whoring from your God. You have promised the reward upon every corn floor. 7, D through G. The prophet is a fool. The spiritual man is mad. The reason is the multitude of your works of sin, your acts of sin, and the great hatred. 10. He said, I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. However, they went to Baal Peor. That's that teacher for the devotion to idols. That's your teaching devotion to idols, and separated themselves into that shame, right? And their abominations were according as they promised. So you're seeking devotion to idols instead of staying with our husband. That's adultery. Jeremiah. 14. Jeremiah 14. 10. A through C. A through C. Well, A through D. Thus said the Spirit of God unto this people. Thus have they loved to wander. They have not refrained their desires For that reason, the Spirit of God do not accept them. That's going to happen. Yeah. We stepped out on our husband in favor of men's words and doctrine. Adultery. Adultery. Go to Mark. Mark chapter 7 and verse 7. Howbeit in vain, worthlessness do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Here we go. Ezekiel chapter 34 and 10, A through C. He says, thus says the Spirit of God, the Creator Jehovah. Remember, I am against the shepherds. Uh-oh. Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 2. For that reason, thus saith the Spirit of God, our guide of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, that teach my people, you have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Remember, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Spirit of God. Jeremiah 28, verse 16. Are we there? Are we there yet? For that reason, thus says the Spirit of God, remember, I will cast you off from off the face of the people, from off the eternal glory of the people. This year thou shalt die. Gonna be cut off. Because thou hast taught rebellion against the Spirit of God. Speaking to them people that caused this adultery. Right? Stay in Jeremiah. Let's go to chapter 3 and verse 20. Surely, comparing a wife treacherously departs from her husband, so have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, says the Spirit of God. Adultery is the most grievous act that we could commit against ourselves and most importantly, against Yahweh, right? This important fact is taken into account when we ask ourselves, why fast? Let's go to John. Chapter 15. We're going to go backwards from 20. Remember the word that I said unto you. This is Jehovah talking. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. 19. Providing ye were of the world will promise his own, will love his own. However, because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of this world, for that reason the world hates you. 18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. So whatever we doing to each other, remember we doing it to him first. Go to Genesis chapter 39, verse 9. There is none greater in this house than I. Neither has he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art in perfection and beauty his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? See, before Joseph committed anything against Pharaoh, he knew he was doing that to God first. So why come on, we gotta use our heads. Before we think of doing any treachery to each other, we know we're doing it to God first. Before we commit adultery to our husbands and wives, know that we're doing that to God first. Right? Let's see. What do we want? We must begin our journey to return to our husband by first acknowledging our infidelity towards him. Thankfully, he has only put us away so that we could come to the knowledge of our sins and return to him as a wife and bearer of good works. Let's get out of here, go to Isaiah chapter 50. And verse 1. Question and answer. Thus says the Spirit of God, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom I have put away? Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you? Anybody? Remember, for your iniquities have ye sold, drum roll, yourselves. And for your transgressions is your mother put away. No peace. We did that to ourselves. We ain't gonna have no peace. It's gonna be gone for a while till we come back. Isaiah. Stay in Isaiah. Let's go to 52. Chapter 52 and verse 3. The reason is thus saith the Spirit of God. Ye have sold yourselves for nothing, and it should be redeemed without money. Haggai. Haggai, chapter 1, and verse 5. Now, therefore, thus saith the Spirit of God of hosts, consider your ways. Right? Going to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 14. Consider your ways. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Spirit of God, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. 13. Only acknowledge your iniquity, that you have transgressed against the Spirit of your God, and have scattered your ways to the strangers under every way of life, every green tree, every way of life. And ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Spirit of God. As an adulterous wife, we must plead for reconciliation to our husband and be sure not to return to the error of other doctrines or belief systems. Go to Zechariah, chapter 1, and verse 3. For that reason, say thou unto them, thus saith the Spirit of God of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith the Spirit of God of hosts, and I will turn unto you, says the Spirit of God of hosts. Come back. Luke, chapter 23, verse 48. 48. Where you at there? 48. And all the people that came together to that sight, to that understanding, remembering the things which were done, smote their breasts and returned. We caught ourselves. We caught it. We catching it, right? And return. Joel. Sorry. Chapter 2, verses 15 through 17. 15 through 17, y'all. Blow the trumpet in Zion. Sanctify fast. Call a solemn assembly. Gather the people. Separate the congregation. Assemble the elders. Gather the children, followers, and those that suck the breast, those that's getting that knowledge. Let the bridegroom go forth in his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, those teachers, right? The ministers, the servants of the Spirit of God, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, Spare thy people, O Spirit of God, and give not thy inheritance to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Why should they say among the people, Where is their God? Right? We have a husband in Jehovah who will forgive us even after our adulterous ways. Ain't that something? As he forgiven us, we must forgive each other and refrain from any adulterous acts in the future. We must strive to move together as a unit. John chapter 8, verses 9 through 11. 9 through 11. And they which heard it, being convicted of by their own conscience, they went out one by one, beginning at the elders, even unto the last. And salvation was left alone, and the Spirit standing there in the midst. And when salvation had lifted up himself and saw none but the Spirit, he said unto her, Spirit, woman, where's those thine accusers? Where they at? Has no man condemned thee? She said, No male or female, Creator, my teacher, my God, my guide. And salvation said unto her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Once we get that understanding, don't return to that vomit. Stay away from it. Let's be safe with each other. Love each other. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. And be kind. Be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, the same as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. All is fair in love. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 16. For that reason, thus says the Spirit of God, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Spirit of God of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Communication is key to any successful marriage. We should always pray to the Most High God in truth and sincerity, and also speak to our spouse with integrity and respect, allowing room for correction and encouragement. Peaceful house, right? Wisdom of Solomon, right there. Chapter 1, verses 10 and 11. For the air of jealousy hears all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. For that reason, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable. Refrain your tongue from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that should go forth for nothing. And the mouth that belies slayeth the soul. Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 11, verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, and then rebuke. James chapter 5, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man, male or female, it avails much. Abstaining from the blasphemous acts of adultery involves temperance, self-control, and goodwill towards our spouse, even as Jehovah has shown towards his beloved. The Lord chose us to be his wife, his bearer of righteous fruit or works. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love, promise your wives, even as Christ also loved, promised the church, and gave himself for it. First Peter chapter 3. We're going to go down from 7 to 13 real quick. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having a compassion one of another. Love as equals. Be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called together, that you should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, that speech or those actions, and his lips that they speak no guile, no lie. Let him eschew evil, let him shun evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. The reason is the eyes and understanding of the Creator are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. However, the eternal glory of the Creator is against them that do evil. That power is against them that do evil. And those who is his is no, and who he is, who is he? Excuse me. And who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good? Who can harm you if you following good? You got a clear conscience, you doing the works, you doing good in your marriage, you forgiving, you seeking peace within your marriage, within your unity with each other, with God. Who can harm that? Joel chapter 2, verse 19. Yeah, the Spirit of God will answer, say unto his people, remember, I will send you corn and fruits and works and faith and wisdom, and you should be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. John, that's that forgiveness, y'all. We can show it to each other, prove ourselves. Chapter 15, verse 16. He says to us, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and bring forth works, those fruits, that be that wife, fruit bearer, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my way, he may give it you. Those fruits, what are we speaking of? Galatians chapter 5. Those fruits. Let's get to it. Verses 22 and 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Fasting from adultery involves diligent care, understanding, promise, faithfulness. We cannot allow the cares of this deceitfulness, and the temptation of this world to draw us away from our promise of unity with each other as the examples of husband and wife, and most importantly, our unity with the Most High Yahweh and His Spirit, Jehovah. Right? Just going to hit a couple more spots. Deuteronomy, chapter 29, verse 9. Keep for that reason the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that you do. Mark, chapter 10, and verse 8. And they two shall be one flesh. So then they are no more two, but one flesh. James. About to be up out of here, y'all. James chapter 1, verse 2. My brothers, my brethren, equals, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Why? Because we ain't the only ones going through it. Deuteronomy 29 and 3. The great temptations which your eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. 1 John 4 and 17. Those great temptations. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of doctrines and teaching, the day of judgment, because as He is, so are we in this world. So He ain't putting us through nothing that He ain't willing to go through, right? Mark. Chapter 10, verse 9. What for that reason God has joined together, let no male or female separate. Amos. Amos. Chapter 5, verse 4. For thus said the Spirit of God unto the house of Israel, seek me, and ye shall live. Although most of us have been faithful to our lovers, there is not one of us here who can honestly say they have never committed adultery to the one we should have been joined to from birth, Jehovah. How will you, question, let me get this out of here. Question. How will you reflect on your experience with adultery, right? And how do you see yourselves returning to the right side of the plumb line? Straight up question. We all been there. We all done it. We all messed up. Brother Chevy.
Well, my comments are going to extend back to yesterday, what Elder Johnson was talking about. And, okay, I married another nation in 78. In 1990, man-made divorce was final. And I haven't been involved in any type of intimate relationship since that time, okay? And the thing is how do I see myself coming into the meetings that we've done that I missed Thursday of being able to teach because I married out of the nation. And that marriage then was out of ignorance before coming into the truth. And how did I fare out with that? Am I going to be forgiven for that and be able to teach or not?
Question, right? So this was before you came into the truth,
Right.
right? So yeah, God winked at your sins before you came into the truth. However, if you didn't understand what you were doing, again, God winked at those things. But once you come into the truth, you're not supposed to move in those things anymore, right? And there's a
Right.
reason for that. And we know that reason is in Hebrews. That reason is in Hebrews chapter 10 and
Well,
verse 26.
well, the reason I addressed, I had that question because
Mm-hmm.
some time ago, Elder Johnson did a teaching, and this was years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he explained it in a little way, but it didn't go as deep as yesterday's teaching did, because in other words, what he was doing was preparing us as he's bringing us down up into the house of Jehovah. Because at that particular time, I think it was only maybe him. Um, at that particular time, it's Elder Johnson and Elder T and Elder Hill. At that time, they were the ones doing the teaching. And as I've seen now, from they've grown to three to what we got, like 15, 12, at least above 12 brothers. Just teaching as well as yourself. And I'm still working on one, putting it together. And I want to bring it before the board, and I want to have it together by Thursday to see how you all would treat that. But as far as, like I said, out of ignorance was my adultery thing. And then one of the other things too, understanding of the way God sees the marriage in His eyes. And when you start having relations like that out of wedlock, and I mean, I wasn't a wild person, but I can count them on one hand and name them. And I still know the 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 young lady that was my first, and she's still alive, but I never bring that up. It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, bro. So you have so you're wondering, what is your question, that like, are you like married to that person? Is that your question?
Uh,
To yourself?
the way I understand it, that I would still be. But then again,
But this was before, again, even
this,
between the round table and the questions that were posed to Elder yesterday was pretty much the same. And they both explained the fact that once you didn't have the understanding, you were ignorant, you didn't have the knowledge. But once you came into the knowledge, after you understood what that marriage meant or what that relationship meant, that's when you're locked in. If you're intimate with someone after the knowledge of what marriage truly is, that's when you're locked in. But
mm,
again, before you came into the knowledge of God, God winked at our sins. So you were not holding to those things. I mean, you're guilty of them, but those things were forgiven before you come into the knowledge.
yeah, well, that that part, I understand a lot of it because it was one of those things that, like a touching girl. with some of the truth, but it wasn't presented the way that we're getting it today, as I said, because, they weren't teaching the Bible the way it was supposed to be taught. You sitting up in these churches and all they doing is making merchandise
You know
out of
why? You know why, right? Let me show you
it.
why. Let me show you why. And
Right.
again, this was another teaching Elder just did, where you were getting your knowledge.
Okay, now see your Bible.
All right, well, I gotta show you. Okay, so you go to 16 and 17.
Okay. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge and good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in that day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Okay, so we know that those trees are elders, right?
Right.
Okay, so he commanded us not to learn from the elders of good and evil because it's mixed. We supposed to be getting pure doctrine. So anything that you gain out of those churches, we are told we should be throwing it out,
Oh,
start from
well,
scratch. So
that's
those
long
things
gone.
actually meant nothing. Those things, those doctrines that they gave to you in those
Hmm.
churches was absolute garbage, was nothing. So you really didn't get knowledge at any point in your life until you started gaining the true doctrine of God.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to take up any more of your time because you got other people that need to get their questions in.
Hey,
Yeah, I
hey,
appreciate
Deke.
it.
Good, Chevy.
Yeah, hey, Deke. Pull your Bibles up. I wanna,
I got you.
we're gonna take care of something. We want to take
We
care
ain't
of
leaving no man behind, Chevy. You know that,
something.
bro.
Yeah. One, we're gonna go to Acts 17,
All right.
and we're gonna start at verse 27.
Okay. 17 started.
We're gonna go in two places, but we're gonna make sure I want to kill this. I want to kill this dog. Just kill this dog. Kill it.
Get him
Kill it.
out. Let's
Kill
get
it.
him out of the way.
Yeah. So right there it says that we should seek the Lord if happily they might feel better, they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from anyone of us. Verse 28, it tells us, for in him we live and move and have our being, as certain as of your own poets have said, we are also his offspring. For as much then we are the offsprings of who? God.
Okay.
We are not to think that the Godhead is is like unto gold or silver or stone or art and man devices. So what you got to remember, see, people are going to tell you certain things, and why I really want people to pay attention when we never should pay attention more so to the person, but what's coming out that person's mouth. That's what you pay attention to. That's why, even with me, I pushed a lot to where people was idolizing, and they'll put me. I'm talking about. I know people before they would put me right next to God. They even said it, and that's something you should never do, because I'm just a mouthpiece. I'm a live. I'm a die just like everybody else. So I know if he did Moses, I know fully well what he'll do to me. So that's why we pay attention to just what's coming out his prophet's mouth. That's all you want to pay attention to. But it goes on more right here in verse 30. It says, in the times of this ignorance, God winked at it. I want you to pay attention to that.
Okay.
So the time of our ignorance, he winked. But it's commanded all men, every everywhere to repent. Now that's the key. You need to remember. So once you learn, you was in ignorance when you talk about what you're doing. We're gonna go over to another place. We're gonna go over to John. We're gonna go to John chapter 8. We're gonna start at verse 1. I want you to pay real close attention to what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show you the conversation, but I want you to pay real close attention on the outcome. And it says, I say, Yahweh Shai Jesus, whatever one you choose to use, unto the Mount of Olives early in the morning, he came again unto the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees, that should tell you right there, right up front, you got some shady boys coming up. Scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. Now, we already see it's a problem. Most people don't see the problem, but it's a problem right there. She was taken in adultery, so they seen the act, but who all they brought? They only brought the woman. That's letting you know they was shady all the way around. But that's beside the point. Watch what happens. And everyone in the very act, because they said she was taken in the very act. This is why you already know they were shady. But it says this. It says, now Moses in the law commanded us that such be stoned, but what sayest thou? They're trying to catch him up, and that's all they say, where's the man? Because we're going to do them both. That's all he had to say, but he didn't do that, because this is a teaching moment for them. This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Yahweh Shai stooped down on, and with his finger, wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. Yeah, because they just dumb as rocks. And when they continue asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him cast a stone at her. Now, they got common sense. They got pure common sense. And when he's saying, see, most people don't understand that. When you saying that right there, you also, we don't have to go there, but you also got to look at Genesis 6:5. You got to put all that in account. Now, they ain't dumb. They know this, because you have to be without sin. But guess what? The only one without sin is. See, I'm going to tell you, Jehovah ain't one to be played with. Only one without sin is the one that was speaking. Jehovah. So he's telling, right, okay, so if you don't have no sin, then you cast it. And all men has fallen in the sin, came short of the glory of God. So they can't cast no rock. And again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And when which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience. Oh yeah, I remember. I slept with Julie about 4 years ago. And I was just getting ready to I forgot I went to that dang bachelor party and I did a little bit of shade over there with this other girl, and she, gonna tell you what, yeah, man, and I went over there and I seen this girl standing and she needed a couple of dollars, but she was cute. And, I offered a couple of, see, all this stuff is coming up. Their own conscience went one by one, beginning from the eldest, even into the last. And Yahweh Shai was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. And Yahweh Shai had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman. Boo Boo, Kiki, JoJo, Junebug, everybody gone. He said to the woman, where are those thy accusers? Have no man condemned thee? She said, no man, Lord. Yahweh Shai said unto her, neither do I condemn thee. Go. What's those fast last 4 words? And sin no more.
Sin no more, yes.
He winked in the ignorance of it. Now you aware of it.
Yeah.
You just don't commit that sin no more. That was a whole key.
I remember that. I'm familiar with the teaching because did that teaching not long ago too.
Yeah, because we have a lot of women, we have a lot of men. They have committed acts and different things, and men are hold people to those acts based on that past. That's why when people come over here, I ask you where you came from because I like to know what I'm dealing with up front. Because camp, I still know. I just want to see if they're gonna be honest. The thing is, I'm not going to hold it against them. I can't. The thing is once you know what the truth is, just don't go back. Because now you know, don't commit the sin. Some people will come here and still want to say, well, I'm going to still commune in these buildings because this is what I want to do. This is what I want to hang out. This is what I like doing. And he's telling you, once you know that's sin, don't do it. No. The same as many people here was married before and divorced. Now what they have done, they sit there saying, you know, I'm still married to him. Where did you know what you were doing? God winked at you. He gonna give you. He gonna always take the first one. The same as we have a lot of brothers here, some women here. Now, same thing, is it still guilty based on women who had children by other nations? Now, it's still, that child still is of that other nation. It doesn't matter. That's not going to change. It's not going to say, well, I'm going to make them Israel. That's not the truth. But these men, once they do that, that child, that first child that they had, or two child that they had it in that same thing. Those childs are still bastards. It don't change the thing. But are they seeds of Israel? Yeah. But the thing is, once you know you have done that, you don't have another child based on that from that. Because if you do, you committing sin, you committing yourself to hell because you clearly knew it wasn't right. Those that you had before then, he's granting you because you did it in ignorance. He winked at you. But then you go back and say, well, I have 3 girls. I'm gonna have a boy. I'm gonna go and you go have another one with that same woman. You actually committing yourself straight to hell. Because you done took up on your own, saying, well, I'll tell you what, I know it'll be all right. No, don't think for God. And that's what a lot of us do. We try to think for God. So he winked at you as long as you didn't know. But if you knew and you still was rolling around with Kiki, you got a problem. That's how this goes.
Leave Kiki alone, Brother Chevy.
Yeah, you need Kiki alone.
Kiki talk.
Well, I mean, that situation is long gone. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. But
well, I see her picture. I see her picture behind you. So
let's keep back.
What picture?
You like
okay. Right.
All right, Brother Chevy. You good?
Yeah, I still have another question, but I can wait for another time on this.
You sure? I mean,
I'm sure because I look like I'm holding up the line. I don't want to do that.
all right, listen, if we got enough time, we come back to you, all right, bro?
Okay.
All right. Sounds fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. Shalom to you, man.
Simone, thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Elder.
Yeah, thank you, Elder.
Hey, no problem.
All right. Deacon Khalil, what's good, bro?
Hey, yo, what's good, Deke?
I'm here, man. We getting it. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Can you ask the question one more time?
Absolutely. Let me run to it because it's formatted a certain way. So I was saying, all right. So my question is, how will you reflect on your experience with adultery, right? And how do you see yourself returning to the right side of the plumb line?
Well, man, so basically, it's like I think about, once again, the same situations I've been talking about, but just adding on to it. Because it's the element of, okay, we supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. But then the same thing is, we know that right there, that's that second great commandment. It's just like that first one. So if we not doing that one, then we breaking the first one too. So then it's like, I reflect on that, and then my actions towards others, and then even you know what I'm saying, understanding these elements of communication, like, okay, we need to have we need to stay in prayer, and that's our ways of communication with the Most High, sending those petitions and these different things, and we don't be doing that, and we wonder why things go this way or that way, and we not even communicating with him. I just think about how, just things that I know I need to do right on. But then just reflecting on, I mean, it was certain things that was said that kind of, it felt like, you ever seen somebody get smacked upside the back of their head? It's like, well, what you doing? That's what it felt like today happened today. I was like, oh man, this is I'm just processing everything. But yeah, but definitely looking at those things, but then also looking at my own actions towards others, and then recognizing that that's against him. I recognize I need to sincerely do an inventory check, and what it is that I've been doing, in my relationships, and me being harsh and, hard and things like that, just based on, oh, well, you did this, and you know what I'm saying. Now I feel like this and all that. And it's like, okay, yeah, what sense do it make for me to be moving in those ways, and I'm supposed to be forgiven and willing to work through things of the like. So it is, hey man, these things be happening at times. They be happening for a reason. So these lessons. So, and I know I'm not being very detailed and elaborative this time, but it's really just that.
You're doing better than you think, my brother. I'm catching your dice.
Yeah, man. But it's really that love your neighbor as yourself. And then that's making me have to really look at the way that I treat others, but ensuring that I'm in alignment with Jehovah, in the way that I conduct myself, not only around, you know what I'm saying, the ones, not only around the body, but then, in my relationship, but then also I just have to really look at what I'm doing. That's really, I don't. It's kind of getting me a little bit. I'm being honest, because it's like, man, I'm being stupid. And I'm trying not to be hard on myself, because I just heard not to do that. But it's
Yeah,
like,
because I'm about to let me shout you real quick.
Yeah. Hey, Dick, with you. Again, we want to level playing fields. And the same thing with this,
Mhm.
you love thy neighbor. I won't dig the who is this neighbor? You just, because I think you did a broad statement, because we're gonna clarify it.
You said, are you asking me?
Yeah,
Oh, my neighbor. I mean, that's the one that's gonna do the will of God.
yeah, yeah. So let's lay that playing field, because you got that right. So we want to level that playing field, and I want everybody to make sure they write this down, because people gonna be shocked on some of this, to make sure, because we need people to really understand first, and then as we start letting other people be around, I want to show them something. Because even some people witnessed some things last year at First Fruits. Well, was it this year? Yeah, last year at First Fruit. So what I want you to do, let's go to first. If you pull the Bibles up,
Yes, sir.
we're gonna go to 1918. Leviticus 19:18.
Yes.
And I want everybody to understand this. And see, and this is gonna show a lot of differences. It says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against thy children of thy people. So that's where the issue is. That's one issue that we have right there. because a lot of us still bear grudges against his people for whatever dumb reason they have it for. Because the same thing is, once you have taken care of something, you had an alt with somebody, you said something, whatever. Once that's done, that same thing, like me and you, you, Deacon, I can have an alt with you. I can sit there, man, you did, and fall out. And I'm talking about argue this and that. You're a knucklehead, have a fallout. 2 days later, sit there like, man, what's up, knucklehead? Hey, what's going on? Why? We in the same truth. Same thing. Me and my brother then got into it. I've been on this earth 62 years. We got into it, but guess what? We still brothers. We still get over. So if we on this side, if we end up getting into it, guess what? You sit there, hey, I know you mad. I know you mad, Negro, because now you're a Negro. What you doing today? Why? Get over it. We both under the same spiritual father. So we just got to get over it. He gonna make you get over it, so you don't bear no grudge there. You might have an art with me, but the same thing is we get over it. Same here. That's why I say, once I say what I got to say to somebody, I'm done. Don't bring it up. Oh, hey, I want you. Leave it alone. That's what you work on. And then it says against the children of thy people, but thou shalt promise thy neighbor as thyself. So the same thing is, you promising y'all gonna roll through it. Thick or thin, I'll drag you over here to the door, kicking and screaming. I can care less. That's how you do this. So that's why I know a lot of people, they get upset and everything by what a lot of us say this. Okay, you can be mad at them. But guess what? They ain't the one saying it. Let's drop down here to verse 34 in the same chapter. Because here go the heavy part. 34. And then it got a little bit more to it. It says, but the stranger that dwelleth with you, that you should dwell be unto you as one among, and that's one among you, that thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. So you got strangers going to be hanging around here, following that same God. They want to be like you. They want to be just like you, no different. So all he's saying is this: you know you Israel. You know you children of Israel. You know who you are. You know what you're about. They sitting there saying, I'm going to grab one more in 1 second. I'm going to grab one more in 1 second. And the same thing is, they want to be, and they want to have what you have. So who are we as a whole? Who are we? This is why I tell everybody, because a lot of people that sit there, that get around they loved ones, and they married to loved ones, they have children, they have mothers, they have fathers, they have different people, but they following Jehovah. And the first thing come out their mouth is they scared to sit there to tell them about Jehovah, because they feel like, oh, well, I'll tell you what, I had this child with this person, and they not quite that. You don't want to tell them. Guess what? He ain't gonna tell his father on you when you leave here, because they might want to follow the same thing you follow. So you treat them the same, because we were strangers. So once you found, you got all the strength in the world. And the main one is this. We're going to go over here to Luke chapter 10. We're going to look at 36. I'm going to show you something that's going to shock everybody. So the same thing is, we have some over here that's following everything we doing. And some of them, you ain't going to get rid of them. They're going to tell you can't get rid of them. I don't care what you do. This is the same one. It says, now, which of these three thinkest thou was a neighbor unto him that fell among these thieves in this world? Because he go at the top, he's going to tell you a whole lot more. So the same thing is, we got to pay real close attention on what we're doing. what we're all about. Because verse 37 says the same thing. He that showed mercy on him.
Mm.
And then he said, go and do thou likewise. So I'm going to bring up a particular one because I don't think he's in here. He's not in here. He's normally in here. But I'm going to still bring him up. But I don't normally do, but I'll bring him up. I know he'll be okay with it based on what we're doing. But I'm going to bring up one that's Jesse. Jesse is no different. So Jesse been over here, been with me longer than probably most people back here. And I can't shake him for nothing. I sit there, he can care less what goes on. You cannot shake this man. He's gonna roll the way he's rolling. I got a few other ones the same way. The same I bring up Hassan. Hassan is not Israel. Hassan is straight, he's straight Islam. He's a Philistine. He was rolling with Dr. Shaul for quite some time. And Dr. Shaul told him to watch over me, and he do it loyally. So we can't treat people just because we walk around, we all puffed up thinking we the children of Israel. Some people want what you have. Same as Rahab, same as many other ones. And if they sitting there, they not doing nothing wrong to nobody, and their heart is for this same God that you seeking, same as Abraham servants. They sitting there, they was praying to Abraham God. They say the God of Abraham. They was letting them know right up front. Then who are we to sit there to say, you cannot worship my God? Then what that make you? That's your neighbor. See, because some of us back here ain't even neighbors. Some of us back here is just as shady as we want to get out. True neighbors is the one that's seeking God and they'll do whatever they need to do to make sure everybody's good. They're not going to treat you wrong. The same with the ones you see there. The same you see white men and Asians where they'll sit there and you come in there looking for a job and they know you just 2 steps below the qualified person that look just like them. But they'll sit there and say, "Ron, tell you what, I know." They don't tell you. I know that if this person walks out, this person might got to look for a job for another 2 or 3 months to get a position. I know this person that's coming behind them, they can walk out and go, and they might get 3 or 4 offers. But I'm gonna take my chance with this person. Trainable. That's your neighbor. Y'all keep that in mind. But just like I said, a lot of you guys is not neighbors. I dig.
Man, bro. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold that down, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I needed this, man. I needed what was just said through Elder Johnson too. So I got some stuff I got to do. Appreciate y'all. Shalom.
Good, my brother. Shalom to you, man.
Always, my brother.
Thank you, Elder. I'm gonna go with Elder Jenkins real quick. Let me get to y'all. Let me see what my man talk about here.
Shalom, Deke. How you doing this morning, my brother?
Good, my brother. I'm good with you. What's good with you, my brother?
Doing wonderful. I just love what Elder Johnson just said. One thought came in my mind, piggybacking off Elder Johnson. That's why it's so important that we don't cast our figs before time. We got to make sure we get in here, do the work, get the understanding, get the proper learning and training. That way, when we go out and be examples and ambassadors for Christ, we know how to exhibit and also distribute out his information to others. If you're not fully have an understanding of everything Elder Johnson just laid out, you can turn people astray. You can give the wrong perception of the ones that you're trying to reach, because they look at you no different than some of them guys on the street corner pushing all that hatred and everything. So when you got the proper understanding and you trying to share this truth, the first thing they're going to do, well, what about them? What about them? They're not looking at themselves, but they're going to use that as a diversion. And then when you go to sharing truth, and if you don't have a full understanding of what Elder Johnson has laid out, you're just going to be like puffed up, me, us, and it ain't about nobody. And then that's going to give them the wrong perception and think it's a code or this or that or other. So anyway, as he was laying that out so beautifully, it just came to my remembrance, in the beginning when I was learning, because some of the folks I used to run with, instead of them look at Deuteronomy 28 for what it is and us for who we are, the first person they was going and trying to save is others. And so the knowledge that I have now, I didn't have all of that in the beginning days. And so when everything I was giving them was truth. I was giving them nothing but the book, but the perception that it gave, it was only defending who we are, and they was trying to ask about somebody else. So I just wanted to share that. Don't cast your figs earlier. You learn, get the proper understanding before you go out trying to share this truth, because you're going to get asked all kind of diverted questions to divert what you're trying to share to something else, just to pick your brain. And if you don't have the clear understanding, you can actually run people away. But anyway, that's the only thing I wanted to share, D. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that, Elder Jenkins, and that's one thing I take into account daily even for myself. You know what I mean? Like I feel like sometimes, I've been put into a position, but I know that I need a lot more understanding. So I really appreciate when Elder comes in and piggybacks off the questions and things like that. Because I promise you, I'm not here to try to play like I know it all. I know nothing. This thing we're gonna be learning forever. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys for your input and all your help. I get that, bro. Shalom to you. Hey, Deacon Jonathan.
Shalom, Mr. Deacon.
What's up, bro?
Ain't good. And appreciate the lesson this morning. As you're teaching, he getting stopped with every voice, because going back to my old days, my past, when I was married, I was looking at it, I was putting me in your teaching today, being unfaithful and deceitful when it came to my ex-wife, whereas, the made fornication, on a regular, not a constant, on multiple occasions, and doing it in a very deceitful way, creating very crafty inventions to find my way to my sweetheart, all because of, speak on me, wife, got pregnant, our first kid, she ain't had the same shape she had at the beginning, so I've been wondering, looking at the next thing, say, man, this one nice, let me holler this one, y'all, just looking at the over the parents of the flesh, even though none of us was in the truth, but it's still an example of you loving that one wife. Don't care if she figures ain't the same as it was when you first met. You committed to that one wife, and then coming into the truth, understand it spiritually, and you become married to Christ. You can go through a trials. So he said, prepare yourself for temptation. So I look at it as you married to Christ. That can come other women around who gonna look beautiful to the flesh, to the eyes, but they ain't no good for you. But if you go off running with your eyes, that you can go let astray and run back into the world and do same old things you used to do back in the past. So, and it's spiritual and physical. So, still learning. I learned a lot even this week, talking to one of my friends. I've been showing something I didn't saw, and growing and understanding how you move as a man with Christ. It gives you a guide to how to treat your wife when you find out. And that's what I say, like, every day I learn something new. How to become how to become a husband to my wife, Christ. And it just give me helps me a lot. And I definitely gonna go over teaching again, because I had to work. So some things I caught, some things I didn't caught because I had to work, and it just helped me out further in my walk, brother, and open up everybody else, because, man, listen, back then, I speak on me and probably speak on me, please, man, listen, do some things for a piece of flesh, man. We create all kind of crazy excuses just to go run behind.
I promise what you're saying is familiar to a bunch of people back here. It's familiar.
I could give example, one time, man, I was home, right? Sweetheart called me, text me, say she wanted to see me. So I couldn't figure out how I can see her. So I called my best friend, right? I said, bro, call me, right? I tell me you got a flat tire, bro. I can hang up. So he called me, right? I said, come back in 10 minutes, make it look good. Call me, right? So I was like, yeah, what's going on, bro? I put on speakerphone. I said, man, I got a flat tire. I said, boy, man, bro, you call me for what, bro? I said, boy, you can't say who I'm telling, bro. Man, bro, come please, man, please. So I tell the wife, I said, man, but he calling me, man. I said, no, they're like, you know what? I'm coming back, man. This bike, I come back. Let me do this bike tire. Come right there.
Just devising them ways, bro. Just devising them ways.
No ways, bro, and just for a piece of flesh, and to see me, I will try to see Christ too, being unfaithful, coming up with all kinds of different crafty devices to follow other spirits, to run behind other spirits, giving excuses for why we did it, singing with our wife, we give excuses why we did it, and excuses we give us, it ain't even a good excuse, and I just, teaching just keep revealing stuff to me in the past, what I did in the past, and yeah, I'm just, yeah, that's all I got to say about that, bro.
I hear you, my brother. I hear you.
All right, man, bro. Shalom.
No, I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate your honesty. But again, this is what this platform is about. It's about purging. You know what I'm saying? So we could be honest with ourselves. We could be honest with our God. And we could start working on these things. That's why we bring them out every week. That's why we had these y'all, you Deacon James, Khalil, Samson. We got the elders. You know what I mean? This is the reason why we do it, my brother. So
yes, sir.
Keep learning and keep it in your heart, man. And those things will be purged away. And we just keep moving in faith, my brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for your input, man.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
To you, man. Sister Larry.
Shalom, Deacon Aunt. How you doing?
Good, I'm good. Shalom to you.
Good. It's interesting listening to everybody else. But I'm gonna stay focused with what I had my hand up for. So first, I just want to say I appreciate these opportunities to confess. It really helps with the cleansing process. And just a quick testimony, like every time I have an opportunity to be honest, I feel like right after that, I get some understanding and knowledge related to that so I can move past and, work towards being on the right side of the plumb line. So I just want to say that this is very beneficial to my spirit. So, but what I wanted to say was, adultery, I have seen it from probably all sides, unfortunately. It's very hurtful when it's done to you, when you do it to others. and most importantly, seeing or at least having a glimpse of a feeling of what it's like to commit adultery to our God. So it is, that's a painful experience to physically go through. And so I couldn't even imagine the multiple times that I've done it to Jehovah repeatedly, unapologetically at times. So that it's something that, of course, he has allowed me to move past and to be just a better Fatima in spirit. But the other thing that I wanted to say was that unity part stuck out for me because just learning back here just about marriage, husband, wife, that was very new to me in terms of how to grow and know what it means to be in a marriage, like a true marriage, and to have that understanding. So that verse that you had pulled was Joel 2:16. And it was the one that you had about the bridegroom and the chamber and the bride in the closet.
Mm.
And I just want to make sure because I was studying that verse, but I saw how you used it, that last part, let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber and the bride out of her closet. When you pulled that, and you also had a statement, striving towards unity. Is that how you were looking?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty special right there. So I appreciate that. That gave me a really good understanding of that verse, and I could see what I was missing in terms of how I was studying and looking at that. So that's helpful. But in terms of returning to the right side of the plumb line, we'll get back to the point. For me, what has helped me was to really understand my position. That was huge for me, knowing that I'm not the head, and to know that Christ is the head and the head of him is the Father, the Creator. So just really understanding my position and my role in a marriage helps me to do that. The issue that I know I had to overcome was men's words. I could see how joining to other people's words and things that they say, how that could just get you off track so easily. So just staying focused for me and trying those spirits and making sure that my ear and what I'm hearing, and I can pretty much discern what it is that I can say has helped me to remain on that right side or to work towards that. That's all I have to say.
Beautiful. I appreciate your input, sister.
Yeah, hey, Dick, can you pull that Bible up real quick?
Get to it. Let's get to it. You know how we do.
Let's put in work, man. Let's put this work in. Go to Sirach.
Right.
We're gonna look at chapter 23.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now what I want to do, I want to start at verse 16. And this is really also for all women. All women. Because I don't know how much, especially our young ladies, our youth, this is for each and every one of you guys. It's in two sorts of men multiply sin. And I'm gonna ask all women, do y'all see it says two sorts of man? M-A-N?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
I need these women to speak. That's the other ones?
No.
No.
So,
No.
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 Elder.
No.
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 Thank you. Yeah, because
No.
I'll get ready to say we got a bunch of men back, but I'm seeing women. So it's two sorts of men multiply sin. And the third will bring wrath, a hot mind, comparing a burning desire. And that's why I will be deaf at your ears. When I know it, I hear it, I will check you on it. You see that two sorts of men? You got a good one. You got one, he gonna do whatever he need to do to have you. Now, I spoke about this last week, and I told some of the sisters this, I believe, last week. The same as I'm going to say this real short. I'm going to make it short and clear. Most people don't know. You can go to foreign countries. I've spoke about this to some people. You can go to foreign countries, and your worth, a virgin's worth, is over $1 million. They'll pay $1 million to be the first one. After that first one, your stock goes to zero. But if you marry, your stock stays the same. Why? Because there's no whores in Israel. This also includes spiritual whoring. You need to break that up. And it says right there, it's making this clear. Two sorts of men. Multiply sin, and the third bringeth wrath. A hot mind, as comparing to burning fire, will never be quenched until it be consumed. They can never quench it, because once they're done with you, they go to the next one. Oh, I thought he was going to marry me. Yeah, you thought so. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he has kindled a desire. Each one of us, we didn't sit there and we've been whores for a long time, running in and out of buildings. One sister saying, boy, you need to go hear this preacher. That's just like saying, hey, he's good. He's good in bed. Go hear him. Same as some of the brothers. Hey, you need to go check this out. Hey, she's good. Go hear what she got to say. You're doing the same thing. And the same thing, like I'm going to say again, we got a lot of them, still whores back here. But what cracks me up is, the biggest thing that cracks a lot of us up. If people come back here and think I'm dumb as a rock. Oh, he don't know. He don't know. I already know. I can name you out. But I just don't. But the main thing is, that fornicator, and if you saying you married to Christ, you was baptized to Christ, you can remove fornicating. Now you're an adulterer. So same thing is, and then I heard my sister, that's the only reason I ended up speaking, because she don't normally talk like that. Her voice is mainly strong, and I can hear she probably having a little bit of issues. So, but and jumping around from church to church, I can understand, yeah, you doing this identical thing as a woman laying down. You doing the identical thing as that. So, but the main thing is you move forward. That's all I got, D.
Appreciate you, Elder. We good, Sister Larry? She left the building? All right,
She got her thumbs up.
Oh, okay, cool. Christ.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move forward. Hey, Sister Bernadette.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for asking. Shalom to you.
Good. So, I have a two parts to responding to your question as it pertains on reflecting on my experience. So I like to liken this. The first part is the spiritual part. So when when you meet somebody you like, you want to get with, and you spend all day talking on the phone, falling asleep. I mean, you're spending a lot of time with them because you're trying to find out what this person like, who they are, everything about them. You can't get enough. And then you go into, so that's the courting or the dating phase. And then you go into this phase of marriage, and then something changed, meaning that the things that you first just enjoyed about that person, or how you approach the relationship, the dynamics change once, the coming together. So I like to liken this, that the intimacy part of me in the Spirit of God, when I first came into the truth and was just beginning to learn the knowledge, the understanding, and taking off the works of flesh, coming to understanding what I did against God. So I couldn't get enough. I would be, I wouldn't be tired. I would be up all night studying. I just couldn't get enough. And then at some point I began to get a little discouraged on the journey, seeming like I wasn't getting all that I needed to get, or I was looking for affirmation. And for some reason, I got to a point where studying, my intimate time, my time spent with God, is just not there. So I liken that as transgression and sin. The time I used to spend with the Spirit of God is not as it was, say, in the beginning of me coming into the knowledge of the truth. So that's one aspect. And then the other one is on a fleshly aspect, as it pertains to what marriage in itself. My husband and I, we've been married for over 30 something. We've been together for 34. We've been together forever. We were only 22 and 23 when we got together. But when we got together, it came with a lot, because we had already experienced life to the fullest. Times where young people should be going to college or gaining a degree. He had his degree, but I still had to finish college. But we had children, so we came together with a lot, children and just everything, and we grew in that. And then I called myself giving my life over to the Lord, and I drew him into that dark doctrine. And in the process of that, I came across the scripture about divorce. I still with no knowledge, but I came across that scripture. And Daryl and I, we were bickering, but we stayed together. We stayed together in the dark doctrine through all of the hardship of what we call a marriage. And then I came to Christ. And so at this point in our marriage, what I'm trying to do is take off all of the 30 years of carnality and the things that we have learned. So, and reflecting on that, that's where we are, just taking off the works of flesh, how we learn how to be married according to the carnal way, and trying to put on the garments, the ornaments, the jewels of God in the understanding of a marriage. So those are the two areas that, for me, being married spiritually into God, coming out that carnal understanding, and also the time being intimate with Christ, so that I can put on these garments that he wants me to put on. So that's all.
I appreciate that. That was spiritual. I get you. Yeah, like I like how you connotating the spirit with how it transcends, and then it translates into the carnality that you experience within your marriage, and how you marry those two ideas together, which is exactly what we're trying to do, because the flesh is only a schoolmaster. So if we live in that example and we do it and we honor it in a way that we honor our God, then your marriage is going to be healthy. The marriage with Jehovah is going to be healthy. So I appreciate how you put that together, Sister Brown. Thank you.
Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom to you. Sister Price?
Yes, shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Hey, shalom to you.
Shalom. Okay, so I'm going to say I was married before, and I divorced my husband after that. But spiritually, you said the time when you committed adultery. I think I did, because he gave me that familiar covenant, right? He put it in our hearts. And yet I I still went into the church building that one time. So I think at that time, maybe I didn't seek him with my whole heart. You know what I mean? And so I was in that building for 2 years, even though that was the only building I went in, but I brought my kids in, and gave them that false doctrine. Then, and my husband didn't come in the church with me. So then on the physical side, before I came into the truth, I divorced him. We got divorced, but we leaned to our own understanding. And I'm going to ask you a question, so you tell me if I'm wrong. Probably I am, but I'm here to learn. When we did get a divorce, we made an agreement that we would wait a year because we had 2 boys. We would wait a year before we part, we part and he move out. So we did that. And then, and it was because of lack of communication. I would ask him a question and he would have no answer. And you can't really have a marriage like that if you're not going to answer, you have to talk. Am I right?
I mean, communication, big thing.
Yeah. And he's a very nice guy. I think, and even, he's very nice. He's very meek. He's very sweet. And even today, we talk every day. And so that's the question. I don't know if that's crazy, but you let me know. We talk every day. He checks up on me. If I need him, I could be 4 hours away. He comes. That's how we are. That's our friendship right now. We got, 2 boys and 3 grandkids. So we try to make sure that we, show the grandkids that their parents are still, we still communicate. We may go out with the grandkids every so often. That's just stuff that we wanted to do to make sure our family was still together and they see us respectfully, loving each other, even though we're not together. But the communication was the key. And then at that time, I didn't have a lot of patience. If I ask you something for a month and you don't address it, or his sister really was the problem. But if you let someone get into your head and tell you something about your family and you're not listening to your wife, I can't stay. So I think I reacted really quickly. I mean, he's a good guy. He is a good man and everything else, and we talk every day. But now my question is, so that's my adultery. My question is, like when we introduce ourselves, people know us because it's been about 37 years. We still talk every day. So when people see us and I'm like, oh, this is my husband, I say that because I don't know what else to call him, if you know what I mean, because he's been my husband and I have to stop doing that. Although he's my ex-husband, but I say, oh, this is my husband. And we're good like that. Even when we dated other people, right? When we dated other people, he would say, oh, I got to go fix my wife's car. And I guess his girlfriend was like, well, wait a minute. I thought you were divorced. He said, yeah, I am. She needs help with the car. And he actually, doesn't matter what time it is, he will come and sometimes he'll bring, if he's with someone, he'll bring them with him. And I see the person uncomfortable. Of course, that makes sense. But in our mind, you understand? This is just showing respect for each other. It didn't make sense because no man could pull me to go fix a car for his wife. So the same thing with me. When I dated, they're like, hey, listen, that doesn't make sense that you're still talking to your ex-husband. And to us, it seems right. So I want to know with adultery, even though I left him and I know, should I be interacting as much as I do with him like that? Or am I lying and still doing something wrong, That's my question.
My question to you is, after you came into the truth, have you been with anyone else?
When I came into the truth, I was with someone, and I know we weren't going anywhere because he wasn't, a righteous man. So I left. So I broke that off, and that was it. And that was about 5 years ago. So no.
Because as far as your like your relationship and being civil towards each other, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as far as being the title of husband and wife, let me share something with you real quick, because right now it seems like y'all putting confusion out there. And
Yeah.
the 1 Corinthians 14 and 33. God is not the author of confusion,
I'm doing that.
you know? So
Mhm.
as far as you being divorced with him, you have no no plans of reconciling and being back together.
Well, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. So here's the second part. I don't know. Like I said, we do everything that we normally do. I let him know about being in the truth. He's a little resistant to that. Now, I don't have a plan to get back together with someone who doesn't know the truth, who doesn't want to know and consider that our ways were wrong. You know what I mean? He's like a respecter of person to his mom, and his mom passed away. And I know that because I like a man who loves his mother, but it was like whatever his mother said went. So when I tell him about the truth, God is not a man. He asked me, "Oh, so are you calling my mother a liar?" But he's very meek and very sweet. So I'm like, "Listen, your mother was wrong, just like we were wrong." So he's not willing to move. There's no need for me to attach myself back to him, and especially if he's not willing to find the truth. I know I'm in truth, so I'm not going anywhere else. Now that would also still be confusion because he still wants to, have that white man up there that his mother had up there, which I never really even knew that. I think sometimes I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention because I didn't even think that. And then his sister is a big factor in it also because she has done a lot of wicked stuff, and she still does a lot of wicked stuff, and he still accepts it. So I don't know, and that was the issue with why I left. And he doesn't have an answer for why he keeps allowing her to do that. So no, we're not looking to reconcile, but we are friends. We still, like to do things with our grandkids and everything else. But I just started thinking, we can't continue, like you said. It is confusion. We can't continue. And I don't know why I keep saying my husband. And even when I was with the other guy, I think that bothered him as well. Like, well, why do you keep talking to your husband every day, your ex-husband every day? But it was like because he was supposed to be my husband forever. You know what I mean? I didn't say that to him, but I think that's the way I feel. But I either have to, like you said, make a choice of, losing a title and not, creating confusion, because that's where I'm at. So sometimes I think about that and then I'm like, am I wrong? And then if I don't, talk to him, he'll say, something funny. Like he's very meek. Like I say, he's very meek and very sweet, but he'll say, "Oh, are you trying to test me?" I said, "What do you mean? I haven't heard from you in 5 hours." And we really shouldn't be talking to each other, all the time. I mean, look out for me. I understand and I look out for you, but I don't know. So
Yeah, real quick.
that's elder.
Yeah. See, because well, you think I don't know you, but I know you.
Elder, I know you know me.
You saying I know you like to get little attitudes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Elder, don't say that.
Yeah. Well, because you're gonna get one once I talk to you, once we finish. But I want you to understand something.
I don't want an attitude, I want truth. So I gotta take it.
Yeah, because the main thing is so why did you divorce him? What was I don't need to know the details. Why did you do it?
No, because he wasn't communicating. He was letting people disrespect our union.
Yeah,
And
so one, you did it out of anger. That's number one. Two, you knew he was already like that before you came in it, where he held his mother voice at a high standard. So that's why.
Yeah, I was okay with that, Elder.
Yeah, but the problem is when he asks you, you calling his mother a liar, all you gotta do is go write the Numbers 23:19 and say, "You tell me," because God is not a man. It's saying it right there. So you tell me, either this book is lying, we can go get every book. Every book gonna say the same thing.
Right.
So you could have did that, but now I want you to see something, because you say you talk to him every day.
Every day.
So the main thing is you came into the truth and you still found out you still talk to him every day.
But was I not supposed to?
Oh no, I'm leading up to that point. Me and you walking down the street. I'm gonna walk down the street, gonna go turn the corner.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we walking.
All right.
So you still call him your husband.
I know.
Oh no, ain't no. We
I
good.
said,
Okay. You still call him your husband. I want you to go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 14. I'm gonna show you a couple of things, and this is a bigger issue than you think it is.
oh my goodness. Okay.
It says, "Turn, O children," said the Lord. He said, "I'm married unto you." So, what was Israel doing?
Turn no backsliding children.
So, what was they doing?
He wasn't doing right.
No, what was they doing? They was committing spiritual adultery.
Adultery.
What did he just say right there?
Turn no backsliding children,
Go ahead.
for I am married unto you.
Oh, okay. So you can get that divorce because after that you came to the knowledge of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You was forgiven of that. You still went back. So you put that back legal binding. So you still call him your husband. So that's legally binding. Even after you came to the truth, and you was divorced probably before you came to the truth, correct or not correct?
Correct.
So you was forgiven of that, but you went back and you still called him your husband.
So I've been back.
So that brought it back.
Okay.
Let's look at something in Hosea chapter 2. We're going to look at 19 and 20. I want you to read it. Hosea chapter 2, verse 19 and 20. I want you to read that.
All right.
And all I want you to do, I want you to read up first, just up to the semicolon. There's going to be a semicolon there. Okay. And I want you to stop there.
All right.
Okay, read. Can you read that for me?
Yes. And I will betroth thee unto me forever.
No, temporary.
No, forever.
No, for a little while.
Forever.
Oh, just because I'm mad because people are talking, just temporary, right? That's what it says? No. Or it says forever.
It says forever, Elder. You know it.
Okay, I'm just checking. I wear reading glasses. It says, "I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment." That's the problem. You know what the truth is, but what do you call him? Okay. So I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness. Right. I should know that I'm the Lord. So that faithfulness, you faithfully call this man, he calls you every day. We check on our grandchildren. We try to make sure people sees us as a family. So what you're doing no different than what Abraham and Sarah did. Abraham and Sarah stayed separated for 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
And oh my goodness, you did it.
I know, not that I know I didn't. I started thinking about that. And
so the thing is this.
Why do I do it?
You guys don't have a bad relationship because it sounds like you guys are a good friend.
Yeah, we don't. Because I want that's what I'm saying. See, I don't want to lean to my own understanding, but I did it before and I'm still doing it. But with my grandkids and my family, I don't want to be mad at my husband. You see, I mean,
no, that is your husband. So so we can talk. We can talk freely. Go ahead.
No.
No. Let's get this straight.
Oh my goodness.
Once you came into the truth and you still saying that's your husband and you guys already consummated that once, he forgave you of that, but you still saying that's my husband. It was already consummated. See, it's some other stuff I can go into, but I'm just not going to do it because I think that's be more me and one-on-one. But the main thing is that's your husband.
We could do it one-on-one.
So she binded herself back to him.
I binded myself back.
No, she ain't binded. It's bonded. It's already there. It's sealed.
Bonded. Sealed it.
Oh.
No, he ain't he cool. You talk to him every day.
Hey, but at this point.
Yeah, I do. We do. Yeah. I don't want to be upset,
And then when you dated, he got upset.
No, he didn't get upset.
Okay, explain it to me. Could you say you're dating somebody who got upset? I'm pretty
No,
sure.
they got upset. No, the people we dated got
Because you were
upset.
still calling him your
If you
husband.
still, because
Well, because he was still coming and doing things, for me and vice versa. And yes, and they know he's my ex-husband. They know he's my ex-husband. They don't
okay.
want to talk to me.
So if he's hungry and he said, "Hey, is it okay I come over and eat today?" What's your answer?
Yes, yes. He can come over and eat.
Okay. So the same thing is
I'm wrong,
he
Elder.
he has all the privileges of a wife, and y'all just in two separate places.
Well, why wouldn't I feed him?
Huh?
I said, why wouldn't I? I mean, if I'm hungry, he will.
I'm off of that. I'm on something else.
You said it.
He have all the privileges as you being his wife, and y'all just in two separate places. You can breathe on me all you want to. It ain't gonna change the
I'm not
conversation.
mad. I'm not mad at you.
But
It's
no,
true. I know it's true. But then I was saying, I don't know why, I can't, like say that, I don't know. I do, when we with each other, I say, oh, it's my husband. It just comes out, but I don't know why I can't. So that's why I was thinking about it. And I was like that,
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you, I can bring people up and say, "Hey, can you say that's your?" And the only thing they're gonna talk about if they wish they had a Uzi to where they can put a couple of holes in it.
No, I don't want to be angry like that. I don't
No,
want. I
but you're
never
not.
did.
You guys, what you need to do, and I like to talk to him. What you guys need to do, y'all need to get that correct because I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody's separating y'all. Nobody. I'm surely not gonna try to because it don't even make sense. You married to the guy. Yeah, I'm gonna say some other things, but I'm just gonna be cool here. I tell you personally, but I'm not gonna say it here.
Okay.
But the main thing is this.
I have to stop.
You know, have to. You ain't now. All right, sister Price. Don't put word. I didn't say stop calling him that because that's your husband.
No, not calling him. But
You tell me. You tell me. What's his last name, Sister Price?
Etienne.
Huh?
Etienne.
Etienne. Why you change your last name?
No, I didn't. I never changed my name, Elder. And you did say that before. I never changed my name.
Oh, interesting.
And well, there was once again.
Highly interesting. Highly interesting.
I know. I didn't change my name. It was once again. I'm leaning to my own understanding because I had kids with before him. So our kids is my his kids is my stepkids. Is my kids as his stepkids. But with, our family. I didn't want to change my name. I didn't know better, and that was a big thing with him too. Why I didn't change the name, so I kept the name just because my kids were private.
See, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone.
We were 20, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that same man, well, no, we don't want to use it because it's gonna go live. So we're gonna sit there and say this.
Okay.
Do you love that man?
I do. I don't not love him. He's very sweet. Why are you laughing?
you crack me up because you gonna always put a little bit more on it. But yeah, he's very sweet.
No, it's this. Everything is the same. He's very I do love him. He is a nice guy, and he's very sweet. And yes, he could eat if he wants dinner. And but he likes some cookies, so I always make cookies and I send it to him. But the point is, Elder, he'll do for me too. But the only thing that changed is the communication. He couldn't answer this question.
Okay, so let me tell you this again. I'm gonna go through this. I said this a while back. Have you ever seen, and I'm not saying this is applying this to you.
Okay.
Have you ever seen monkeys and gorillas?
Yes.
Have you ever seen them having conversations sitting down?
Well, they just picking on each other.
Okay.
I guess.
But you never seen them have a conversation, have you?
Huh?
You never seen them have a conversation, have you?
No.
Because that's where confusion comes in at. Because most people and most women, most men, they'll sit there and say, well, he need to be talking about this, he need to be talking about that, because we need to be looking for your needs, your desires, what you want. I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that. The only conversation is he says when you wake up in the morning, you should be doing what? Your mind should be on God.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
take it. When you walking, what you should be doing.
My mind should be on him, on his word,
When
meditating,
you get back home and you sit down, what you supposed to be doing?
studying, and showing myself approved.
When you lay down and you get ready to go to sleep, what should be on your mind?
God.
So what you should be talking to him about is helping him and helping you get where you need to go. Because he says, seek ye first what?
The kingdom.
Okay, it's not seek ye first what I want to go to the mall and you need to be taking me to the mall.
Right.
This is where issues comes in at. Because most women to tell you, well, no, he's not this, he's not tentative to this, he's not this, he's not that, he's not this. Most men sit there, well, he's not this, not that. Your conversation, over 90% of your conversation, anytime that you speak to your husband or your wife, should be about how you getting into that kingdom, something about in that book.
I do speak to him about that, but I
Yeah.
think he then he, kind of he'll get quiet.
Because other than that, what you satisfying? Anything other than talking about that book, what are you satisfying? Satisfying flesh.
Correct.
And that's vanity. This is why majority of all people come up to divorce and everything else on vanity things, something that's going to disappear besides eternal things. Right. Wouldn't it be, well, I tell you what, just look at something. Wouldn't it be nice, both of you guys, they say, welcome, my good and faithful son. You said to both.
Yes.
You wait a minute, you die at different times. But wouldn't it be nice? Because one thing in heaven, you'll know who they are. How do I know? Because you even see it when Jehovah, when he was up on Mount Transfiguration, what happened? He seen Moses and Elias then walk right up on him. And Peter knew who they were. So you know who people are. So let's just say you up there. And all of a sudden you see your husband. Oh, wow. Hey, what you doing? Now you can have eternal conversations.
Right.
Not temporal conversations. It's a difference.
Correct. I do talk to him about this. I share the teachings and everything, but and then I ask him, do you understand? And then he'll say, certain things that he learned before, and then he'll get quiet. So when he gets quiet, that's it. There's no conversation. He'll listen. He say, "I'm listening," and I'm like, "Yeah, did you do the study? Did you do the?"
Yeah, no, okay, but did you do a study? How you gonna do a study? He really don't know how to study.
No. Did he do the lesson? So when I pass him the lesson, I give him some scriptures. Also, that's what I want him to do. Ask me questions. I said,
So you gonna do something? I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor. You gonna do it? I know you're gonna get quiet.
I'll see it, Elder. I'm listening.
You see, I'm listening. You see, I'm listening.
Elder, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so
sometimes
now
yours is loaded. It's tricky.
Oh yeah, it's loaded. It's fully loaded. But you gonna do it for me?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I have to do. Yes.
Now I know your son. I tell him.
My son already told me.
I tell him. And I'm don't.
What you gonna tell him, Elder?
Is he in here? Is he in? Because
No.
let me see.
He got the kids today. I don't think so.
Oh, he got okay. Don't worry. We'll tell him.
What you gonna tell him?
So this is what I want you to do.
He already told me I should not do that.
Yeah. Oh no, but he just don't know this part on what we all talked about. But what I want you to do is invite him over next time on anybody's service. I don't care whose service it is.
Okay.
Y'all sit, watch it. And then y'all do the study. He gonna come over. If he'll come change the tire and do everything, I know he'll come there. Hey,
Okay.
okay.
Yes.
You know, see, the only thing I watch for, you might got to catch one of them others, because I'm claimed to be long-winded. I'm claimed to be that. I'm not buying it, but I'm claimed to be long-winded. But same thing, we got one coming on. Now the one coming on, he long-winded. He long-winded. Deacon Khalil, he long-winded. Deacon Jonathan, they long-winded.
But I want him to ask questions because that's what I'm saying to him.
Exactly the point. You want him to sit with one of them brothers, and then as you do, the main thing is don't ask questions. What you do, you start sharing with him the information. How those things contracted together. Then later, you want to know, how did y'all get to this point? Because the same thing is, y'all ain't separate. Y'all just living really in two separate houses. Technically, that's all y'all doing. The reason you laughing because you know that's true.
I know, and I think my son was like, you got to stop worrying about him and everybody else. But it's just, I don't know if I'm worried. It's just we are.
See, tell me this. Tell me this, and I'm gonna leave you alone. Tell me this, and I'm gonna leave. I promise you.
No, you're not. No, you're not, Elder.
Yeah, you know me too good.
Yeah, I'll tell you though.
Okay, but okay. So tell me that. If he said he met someone and he wanted to him, what would be your first response?
If he said he met someone and
he gonna get married, what's your first response?
Well, I'll be happy for him. I think.
You think?
I'll be happy for him. I think he is with someone, but I don't intrude like that. But when I call, sometimes if he says, "Oh, I'll call you right back," I'm like, "Oh, if you're busy, that's okay." I don't want him to feel like he has to drop everything and answer for me. But if I would be happy for him, Elder.
But he ain't telling you he with someone.
No, he said he's not with. He said you don't know what I'm doing. That's all. But I know he was with someone before. I knew the girlfriend before. I don't know if he's still with her, but And he said, "You don't know." He said, "No, I'm not." Or you don't know what I'm doing, something like that. But if he gets married, I'm okay. I'm happy, Elder, with that. Let me tell you, he was with someone before, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's confusion, but I do respect and love him, even though I left him. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I was, and I was, out of emotion. But I do want the best for him. So when he met this woman, he introduced her to me. I also knew her, and she had a little son. And
you want me to show you yourself? If you want the best for him, you would have stepped out his life. If that's what you're saying, because you're on the other side.
Okay.
But you saying you the better choice.
No.
And he's saying the same thing. Don't worry, y'all both saying the same thing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
that.
Yeah,
you're right. That's why you talk every day.
We just talk just to check in. It's not a long talk.
Oh, I didn't know you had to check in.
Well, when we talk later.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying. He's saying he's the better choice of somebody having, because he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And you saying you the better choice.
No, maybe not.
Okay. No, you based on just on the conversation you talk every day.
That's what you're getting, right?
That's what you just told me.
Well, I'm not saying he's the better.
And I guarantee you, he calls you. Will do. And when you call, I tell you what, if he call you a couple of times and you don't answer, he gonna get an attitude.
Well, he don't upset, but he did say, "Oh, you trying to tempt me or something to make me."
Oh, wait a minute. But y'all ain't together.
No, he said it like in a playing way, so I thought,
No, he said it. Oh, he said it in a playing way. Do you know when people say stuff in a playing way, they're more dead serious than any time? You know this. Everything I'm telling you, you already know.
I mean, I don't know, Elder.
Okay.
But
I like to meet your husband.
Would you?
Yeah.
Not my husband. He's my ex-husband, but
Okay,
he's my
so do you
ex-husband.
introduce him? Do you introduce him as your ex-husband to everybody
I
else?
just,
You say that's my ex-husband, or you say that's your husband?
I say husband. That's what I was saying.
Okay, but so now you want to be kind of not too cool with me and say that's my ex-husband.
You said with men?
Yeah, with me, you don't want to be straight up with me. You call everybody else, you say that's your husband. With me, you want to say that's your ex-husband.
No, Elder, because you're telling me I can't do that, so I'm trying to correct it now.
Tell me one place where I told you can't do that. Tell me through this entire conversation. We'll post it up and tell me anywhere where I said I said you can't do that.
No, you're saying when I do it, it's confusion. So I am.
No. What I said is, what you're doing, y'all never divorced. Y'all still together. Y'all just stay in two separate houses.
Right. Oh, backsliding. Okay.
So the thing is, me and you'll talk later. We're going to talk later. But the main thing is, he's a great guy. You saying it out your own mouth. How long you guys been together?
About 37 years.
So y'all been married 37 years.
No. We were married 10 years, but I knew him ever since. So it's 37 years.
So y'all been married 37 years.
See, Elder, I'm trying
to get
the information to correct Deacon Hicks.
The information is correct. Okay. Okay, for 37 years, when you dated, you said I do. For 37 years, you always called him your husband, correct or not correct?
Correct.
I'd like to meet your husband. Anyway, D, let me go. I'm gonna leave my sister alone. Me and my sister gonna talk.
Yeah, because that one got me through a loop right there.
I need a lot of confusion.
I'm gonna get back in the book.
No, it's not confusion. It's not confusion. It's denial. It's not confused. I guarantee you, your son not confused, your grandchildren not confused, your husband not confused. Ain't nobody confused. I promise you, nobody's confused.
Well, you're gonna talk to him, Elder. You're gonna talk. We'll talk, and then you'll tell me the rest.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk, but I want your husband to be right there with us too.
Yeah, you're gonna talk to him.
Yeah, and stop telling me he's the ex, because you tell everybody else he's your husband.
I know. I just say husband. It just comes out like that. It
comes out. It flows out naturally.
Naturally, huh?
Just
to say ex-husband seems cruel. I know.
Ex-husband. Let me tell you a secret.
Yes.
When I was coming up, my father raised me, my stepfather.
Yes.
Yeah. One second. See, now y'all got my wife all nosy. 1 second. So wait a minute. So the same thing. His name is Will Reed. And from a child growing up, my father's name is Melvin Johnson. And he was real cool with it. But what ended up happening? He never introduced me ever as this is my stepson.
Right.
He always introduced me as his son. So once I got older, I ended up working for this man. Worked for him for a little while. And what happened when he'd do big contracts, these people he introduced me to these people. This is my son. So you know what checks they wrote those checks out to? Michael Reed.
Correct. Because he said
because I'm not going to correct you. So the same thing is when he passed, we had some idiots. I can tell you who they are. We had some idiots sitting there saying, because we have in the obituary, we didn't put in there his stepkids. He always introduced us as his kids. Now he had 2 kids by my mom, but he never. And same thing when I introduced him to people, colleagues I had, I say, "This is my father." You know what they call him? Mr. Johnson. Guess what he say? How you doing?
Right.
My own children. It's kind of funny, but they're going to get mad even when I tell it, because they're going to see it going to televise here live. But the same, they got upset with me. This is just a couple of years ago. They got upset with me, as well as my brother, Dwayne, the same as my sister, Michelle, who was the one that passed. All the kids is mad. My son called me at 3:00 in the morning. Upset. He ain't never raised his voice like that. He's upset. Why you ain't never told me granddaddy ain't my granddaddy? I say, Michael, what I want you to do is this. Oh, no, you need to tell me. I can't believe he all frank. I'm talking, I ain't never discombobulated like this. I said, Michael, stop 1 second. I say, Michael, what is your name? I'm Michael Johnson. I'm Michael Johnson Jr., this and that. And I can't believe, no. What's your granddaddy name? Will Reed. Okay, Michael, you got a master's degree. You ain't figured this out?
Right.
Don't you know he still didn't figure it out? He didn't figure it out then. So we hung up. My daughter did the same thing. She's calling crying.
Oh, no.
So now all our families, our kids calling all around, sitting there saying like we shaded somebody. What's y'all last name? Johnson. What's the problem?
Right.
So the same thing is, he never said it. We never said it. So the thing is, he was my father. I tell you, he's my dad. He come up to you. I tell you, this is my dad. I'm not gonna say this is Will Reed. I removed that name just to know who he is. This is my father.
Right.
You don't need to know his name. And if he want to tell you Mr. Reed or Will, you can use either one, because I'm gonna let him tell you. And when he do, he'll say, hey, you say, and if you mess up and you say, how you doing, Mr. Johnson? I promise you, he's gonna say, how you doing?
Right.
And he leave it there.
Exactly.
When people sit there and say, Michael Reed, guess what? How you doing? I leave it there. Only time it changed when they put that name on those checks. And I sit there and say, hey, you got to change that. Well, we got to change it. My last name is Johnson.
Right.
Exactly. Dude, you should have asked me. I would have told you.
Right.
They say, but that's my dad. And I still leave it at that. Why? Because that was my dad.
Okay.
Same thing here. That's your husband. That's the whole point I was saying. Exactly. That's why you right. The same thing. You claiming that's your husband. Why? Because you already consummated. You did this, but you sent there. You did something out of anger, and once you did it out of anger, it's solidified. Because guess what? Now y'all saying in two different places, wasting money. And that's your husband. Which I know anybody ain't gonna be happy. You might sit there and might be happy. It might have hope she fall over and break her leg. That's why you laughing.
What?
I mean, the same thing is he'll look for the same thing, vice versa. He talk every day. What you call it? You check in.
Yeah.
You check in.
I don't want to be. I don't like to be angry. Especially at someone I'm married to. And I know I love. I don't want to be angry. So
you don't need him to be upset. You keep making them. You keep making them cookies.
It's just cookies. Elder, okay, all right. You know what?
Okay.
We're gonna talk later. He's trying to make me upset.
All right, my sister. We'll talk later.
Thank you.
Okay,
dude. Hi, sister. Price.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elder.
Yeah, no.
All right. Sister Tanya.
Shalom, Deacon Anthony. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Good. All right. Great lesson. I appreciate it. I'm going to start probably with some point outs that you did. You brought up the agreement and the covenant. So that's, the marriage between the marriage that we should have, which you have to have a marriage before you have adultery. So there's going to have to be some type of agreement there. And I'm just going to go to, the most recent incident that I had concerning marriage, or should I say conversation, that I had concerning marriage, just to kind of set the scene. You know, I work in law enforcement with a lot of men, and it's a lot of arrogance and power struggle. And the females that are there, you know, feminists and power hungry as well. But you know, at work, there's always conversation and everything they try to drag you into. But someone, you know, asked me, oh, you know, like, why you're not dating, or anything along those lines and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know, I prefer, you know, to have a husband, not a date. Um, Someone that's like-minded in the spirit, you know. And of course, you know, to them that was funny. You know, they laugh, basically stating that I'm too old to be saving myself for a husband. Girl, you 50 pushing 60, you know, those type of things. So now the joke at work is, oh, Tanya's getting married in June. And when she get married, soon as she get married, her husband's gonna give her a annulment right after the honeymoon. So that's the little joke now. So I do pay attention to what people say. So I'm saying to myself, you know, Tanya, don't you marry Jehovah and think that there is a annulment or some type of divorce, because there, you know, there's no such thing. Um, you know, this path is a narrow path. There's no turning around. This is no turning around. Once you done taste it, once you done had the word of God, you know, you don't taste it. You can't turn around. I don't want to turn around. Not that I want to, but you know, it's a hard journey. It's not easy. Um, but you know, you just stay focused is and everything. The scripture that you brought up Numbers 14:2, and you substituted the word would for hope for. Is did I hear that correctly?
Wood, Numbers 14:2. When he said, would God, would, well, it's like when you say I wished.
I wish for. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So would you kind of substituted with wish for.
They're saying, I wish to God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or I wish to God we had died in the wilderness.
Okay. So you use the word wish, not hope. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I note that correctly. All right. So just back to what I was saying. I know on this journey we on this path and we pushing forward. And I know on the left side there's a whole lot of little trap doors, and I don't want to push that trap door and fall on the left side of the plumb line. So I just gotta keep focused, because if I don't, and you push that trap door and you fall into those traps and everything, you might as well, I might as well be Numbers 14:2. You know, wishing that I would die, was dead in captivity and things of that nature. So I just want to stay focused. And, you know, I just picked up the point that the source of adultery is the lack of faith. You pointed that out, and that was a good point out. So adultery is just full of not believing, trickery and deceit towards your husband. And in order for me not to be that, I just need to maintain my faith. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well, I appreciate your input, Sister Tanya. So I have a question for you.
Mhm.
I sensed your I heard you choking up a bit. And you choked up at the point where you said your colleagues were pretty much mocking you and your hopes, what you were looking for and companionship as far as a husband. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah.
What did you get upset about?
Well, I didn't get upset. I think I'm upset now just talking about it, because I know that it is the work of the enemy. I know that it is to get me off course. I know that is to push that trap door to the side and get off the path and go to the left side of the plumb line. It's just a journey, So I wasn't upset with them. I actually just laugh it off or whatever the case may be. But talking about it more spiritually after you brought this topic up, I think that's where the emotions come, because I don't want to have the lack of faith. I don't want to be tricked. I don't want to, be in some type of deceit. I don't want to fall. I want to stay focused.
Nah, because my reason I asked you that is because, if we go, Elder say he's going to put this back up. So if you go back through it, you see that as a point that I was trying to make is, if we want to be with somebody of like mind, right, in the heart, and we have the mind of Christ, and it's easier when you have a spouse that has the same as you, right, and you're actually looking for that consciously. So there's nothing wrong. So with the point when it seemed like they were mocking you for that, it says here in Genesis 18:12, for that reason Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Like, or I'm when I felt I sensed you being upset at the mockery, and this came to mind for the reason that I'm speaking to you now, as far as you have every right to wait for somebody that's gonna have the same mind as you have. That's the smart thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, as far as not me personally, I'm sorry, but as far as this situation is concerned, is if you're looking for that, that's what you're gonna find, because you're actively seeking someone with the like mind, and in Christ, that's exactly what you're gonna get, because you're being vigilant of that. So yeah, to be upset about, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be upset about it. I'm saying to you that I understand your frustration with that, and seeing how they try to mock you in that situation. That's nothing for them, because they don't understand. So I get you, Sister Tanya.
All right. Well,
I appreciate your input, as far as bringing your understanding as to where the lesson was being driven.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. Shalom to you.
Shalom.
Yo, Deacon James.
Hey, shalom, D.
What up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, we here.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. I'm gonna try to keep this brief. I'm not gonna try to do too much on
Yeah,
it,
because
but
you coming up.
hey, man, yeah. It's a 5-minute premiere, so it's all good.
All right, we got
But
a few minutes. Okay, cool.
yeah. But yeah. So with this topic, bro, every time this topic comes up, I try to keep myself together, but I really be getting choked up and emotional about it, because I know the things that I've done. But at the end of the day, I recognize that it's always going to be a constant reminder of what I've done and the consequences of it. That it's always going to serve as a constant reminder. And then when you brought it up today, it pricked me. It pricked me right in my heart, and I'm just like, yeah, I gotta say something today. Even I'm sitting here at work, I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna I'm at work, so yeah, I'm just gonna pass. Like, nah, I can't pass on it because I'm just making an excuse. I'm just making an excuse for myself, you know. So keep it short, you know, my life, I've always been driven by lust. You know, that's always been my biggest issue. Lust, being dishonest, being a liar, being a cheater, getting with all these different women, doing all these different things. And those are the things that I was driven by and the big things that I was doing. So, you know, once I came to the knowledge of the truth, you know, that still followed me. That same lifestyle still followed me, you know. I I never got rid of it, even though in my head I thought so. But that's why he even say in Jeremiah 17:9, like the heart is desperately wicked, and my heart was wicked. You know, who can know it? I thought I knew it, but I was lying to myself. So me and my wife, we even got married back in 2021 when we came to the truth, you know, but I didn't understand a marriage, nor did I take it seriously, the understanding of a union. So not only spiritually did I do this adultery against God, I'm also a partaker of it physically, you know, and that's something I've always feared how people would see me or
Good, bro.
my bad, bro.
Nah, you good, my brother.
I always fear how people would see me or portray me with that, but you know, it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm just gonna put it all out there for who I am, the things I've done, you know. And then when it comes to that, I came to the knowledge of the truth, and it was revealed my heart. A couple years later, it was revealed to me like, no, you still have this issue, you still got this problem. It's still there, you know. So I sin willfully, even after coming to the knowledge of the truth. So with that, it's no more established covenants for that. So the things that I done, I wasn't in ignorance. I was sinning willfully. So I had to pay for those things. That's a mark that's on me that I have to pay for. And those are the things that I gotta deal with because of the choices and the decisions that I made. So that's basically what I was doing, being contrary to Jehovah, being against Jehovah, being an adversary to the word of God, and being unfaithful to my wife. That These are the things that I was doing. And you know, even in all that, um, I, I still I still know I still can't really even understand to this day what truly my purpose is and what Jehovah even wants me to do. Even though I teach, I still don't even understand why I even teach. I truly don't get it because I'm just thinking like somebody like me doing all those things, like I see myself as the worst of the worst. And, you know, I continue to push, I continue to move forward, but you know, it always comes back. It always comes back to hit me in my mind, you know, and I'm just sometimes I get discouraged, but you know, at the end of the day, I just know I gotta trust in Jehovah, you know, and it forced me to realize I had to. I, it came to a point, you know, once I got caught up in what I was doing, that plumb line was set. It was set for me that moment, that day, where I had to make a decision. I'm gonna choose the spirit and live according to the ways of God, or I'm gonna choose the flesh and the things I was desiring, the things I wanted, because I was trying to please myself. So in that moment, I had to make a decision. And because I basically was condemning myself to hell if I didn't make the right decision and walk away from those things. But still, I still got to pay for those things, even to the day of my death. But I'm grateful to the fact that I still am here and I have this opportunity to do the right thing. And so I'd rather pay for everything here now, today, in this life, than have to pay for the things I've done in eternity. So I'm just grateful for that, and now I'm learning more how to be a better husband and to my wife, and serving Jehovah, and being more genuine and being more open, being more honest and transparent, and not sitting there trying to hide things and trying to be secretive, but doing what I need to do so I can move forward. So, it took a lot, it took a lot for me to really do this, but I mean, I appreciate you, Deacon Hicks, for the platform, giving us an opportunity to be here and do this. So I appreciate you, bro, but I ain't gonna say too much more on it because I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah. Hey, bro.
right there.
Hey, Deke, one thing we got to remember is this. If we real quick, we can go to Acts chapter 9, start at verse 1. And I want you to remember a couple of things, what God wants you to do. In Acts 9 and 1, and it tell you in Saul is Paul. He was breathing out, threatening and slaughtering against the disciples of the Lord. And went out to the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus and to the synagogues, that if they found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them in bonds and to Jerusalem. But you can see as you read down what Saul was all about. And the main thing is your biggest enemy was yourself.
Yes.
Same as I said before, and me and you have talked on many personal occasions. The same as I said before, and the same as I say again, Most High has something for you. And the only people who is like you, who has been through something, has really seen things, to where you have to make a choice. And some choices we'll deal with for a lifetime. We'll never change. But now, the same as we were sitting there looking out there, chasing our flesh and desires of our flesh, that same desire, that same burn, need to be on the other side. That's why Paul didn't care what went on. You can see him even 26, you'll see what Paul didn't change. This is the point on why we do what we do. This is why a lot of people that, I get a lot of calls where people sit there like, hey, man, you doing this, you doing that. I got some other deacons, I got elders doing the same as I'm doing. Meaning, we can rest when we're dead. Because right now, we did a lot of things and like, it's a lot of things I can speak on, but I never do a lot of crazy things. But still, even the crazy things that I don't see as big, they were still big to God, no matter what. So that make me just as wretched as anybody else who have did anything that people see that was really wretched. I'm still in that same arena. So the main thing is, as long as I can fight and get people right towards God, to prepare them, is what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. Letting everybody know when they look at you, they look at me, they look at anyone, they look up and say, man, I wish I can join the God like these people. What we let them know is we no different than any one of them. We the same. My only difference is we change and we turn to start doing what's right towards God. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So many of us always want to wonder about what we're going to do. What do God want us to do? And he want you to do what you're doing right now, but he want to move you from where you are. Meaning, deacons, they proving themselves, showing how much they are. You doing actually a great job, but the only one who can tell you this is God. But the best thing about it is when he started moving you to from that side and he moved you over there to Ephesians chapter 4 and started at verse 11. Now you're going to start carrying all your weight. So that's why it's put on you. But the main thing is you hold to what it is. You never change. You never look back. You never sit there and waver with God. God makes his choices. And his choices, people will see as old, ugly rock. But what God sees is something that's clear as day. So the same as he put people here to make sure they can see who they are. And to make sure that he tried those people. So same he did here. I will grab you to try you, to sit there to see. And my thing is to see, to prove wrong. Some people prove who they were. You are chasing God. I know on personal reasons. And that's what you keep doing. Don't never change who you are. You fight for him. You sit there, you make a commitment to God. Main thing is you can rest when you're dead. Because don't ever give up for him. Because the main thing is once you rest, you know you'll be with him. That's all I got for you, my brother.
Thank you, Elder.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Elder. I appreciate that.
Shalom to you, bro.
Yeah.
Shalom, bro. Appreciate it.
Sister Barbara, I'm afraid we are totally out of time. His lesson is on as we speak. What you got, Sister Barbara? Sister Barbara? All right, so we can't get you. We can't hear you, sis. All right, listen. That's all the time for the day. I'm sorry. And we on Deacon James' lesson right now. So we're gonna get on out of here. Appreciate you guys joining me for the first day study with your man Deacon Ant. We appreciate you all for joining me today, and your testimonies have been very profound. And keep it moving the way we're doing it. All right. So I want to say shalom to all of y'all, man. Shalom.
Oh, shalom.
Yeah.
Excellent. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, shalom.
Righteously towards God.
Shalom, shalom.